Mr. Gale for some closing statements.
Caitlin, thank you, and thank you to all of you for a very stimulating conversation this afternoon. I just have 3 or 4 points that I'd like to make in summary at the conclusion of this discussion. Number one, we need to make sure in this next election that Saskatchewan has leverage in the councils of national decision-making in this country. And I do not believe a conservative monopoly on political space in Saskatchewan is a healthy political result for this province. We lose our leverage. We get taken for granted with the dominance of one political party that doesn't have a good track record in delivering for Saskatchewan. Remember their first promise? Equalization. $850 million every year for Saskatchewan, regardless of our resource situation. The promise was never delivered. Remember their second promise, income trust. They would never, ever, ever, ever tax income trust, but they did tax income trust, and they destroyed $25 billion in value in the savings accounts of 2 million ordinary Canadians. So when you bring it right up to the present day, potash, that was a critical debate for the future of Saskatchewan. And I was absolutely astounded that I was the only member of Parliament from this province who had the courage to stand up and say no to that transaction and to support the people in the province and the businesses of Saskatchewan in defending our resources. The 13 Conservatives were absolutely mute, absent, and AWOL, and there's no way they can justify their position. So we need leverage in the next Parliament of Canada. Secondly, fiscal responsibility. I stand for that in an absolutely rock-solid way, not just in some abstract economic theory. I've lived it and delivered it in the way that I've represented this province and this country, including as Minister of Finance, delivering the 9th and 10th consecutive surplus budgets on behalf of the people of Canada. When I left office, I turned over to my successors a $13 billion annual surplus and fiscal flexibility going forward of $100 billion. That's what Mr. Harper had to work with, and within 3 years, before the recession, not because of the recession, before the recession, he had turned the black ink to red ink, and the country was back in deficit once again. Thirdly, priorities. We need to shift those priorities from the jets and the jails and the extra corporate tax cuts, assuming $100 billion of fiscal flexibility over the next 7 to 10 years. And we need to put families at the front of the line in terms of education and health care and family care and making sure that families have the means whereby to make ends meet and to thrive and to do well. As I said at the beginning, when families are strong, the economy is strong. When equality of opportunity reigns in this country, then Canada prevails on the national and international stage. So priorities is the third point. And finally, integrity is something that I've stood for every moment in my public life. I've had to go through some difficult periods, but I'm able to go to the doorsteps of all of my constituents in this riding, look them in the eye, and said, I kept your trust. I did what I promised to do, and I will never let you down. And I maintain that promise and commitment to this very election and to this very day. If you have further questions, I invite you to contact my office at any time. Thanks to the Carillon. We'll be following the Twittering as it goes along. And may I invite everybody to join in a Twitter forum tonight between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Look us up on Twitter and we'll be trying to answer any of the questions that come in tonight live for that period between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock tonight. Thank you all very much.